welcome back, and it's becoming a heated debate over here. Everyone's kind of, marking their stake in the ground.
We're all good.
Yes, all friends here, but there is some blood being shed as to who we think is going to be winning in the World Series. But we're going to start with the divisions of the National League East. Jeff, who do you got going?
I have the Atlanta Braves getting back to the top after all these years. I'm not a big fan of the Mets. Everybody's talking about the Mets because of Johan Santana. But after that, who do they have pitching?
Right.
I like the Braves coming back.
Well, in the NL Central, I would love to say the Cubs. I think it could be the Cubs if all things, line up, if the stars align the way they should be, if all the acquisitions make sense. But I really think it's going to be the Milwaukee Brewers this year. Some of their pickups and their pitching staff and their experience just got another year older. I think they're really starting to gel. Ned Yost is a great coach. They re-signed him, and I think they're gelling very well there. NL West?
NL West, I'm going to go with the Dodgers. I really do feel strongly with the Dodgers. I think they're the most balanced team in that division.
And who do you have winning the National League altogether?
Believe it or not, I think the Dodgers with Joe Torre, I really have a strong conviction towards them.
California homer. And who do you have going, Jeff?
I do like the Dodgers. I like the fact that Joe Torre's out there. He's cool and calm. He'll bring the team together. Andrew Jones, I don't believe we'll have a back-to-back bad years. The pitching rotation's awesome. And I see them beating the likes of the Cubs, the Phillies, and the Braves.
Well, I did mention that I thought Milwaukee would win the NL Central, but it's going to be a wild card team coming out of the National League this year, and that will be the Chicago Cubs. In the American League, out of the East, you got to stick with the team that's the hottest. They did win the whole thing last year. You're the champion until someone knocks you off, and I got the Boston Red Sox winning the AL East. In the Central?
Central, yes, I born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. I mentioned that several times. I like the Tribe. I think they're hungry.
In the West?
In the West, I'm going to go with Seattle. I think pitching and defense is how you win in the West, and that's what they're stacked with.
So who's winning the tougher division or the tougher conference?
I'm actually going to go with Cleveland. Like Groves, I think that they're the strongest team, top to bottom, in the West.
I like teams like Boston, Cleveland, and even in the Angels. I think the Angels did a great job of getting John Garland, and to solidify the rotation. So the AL is a lot stronger again than the NL, and I like the Tribe.
Well, I am going to have to go with that video game fantasy team in the Detroit Tigers. I mean, you pick up Dontrelle Willis, you already got Bonderman. They're stacked in that rotation. Like you said, the lineup, you can go from 1 to 9.
Dontrelle can't bat, though.
Well, they don't need him to bat. They could come in at a DH spot.
240 hitter. He's a good 240
And
hitter.
overall, you're talking about two classic franchises between the Cubs and the Detroit Tigers. I see it going 7 games. Because the Cubs will be the wild card, it's going to be a tough road win in that 7th game. But I do see the Cubs prevailing. The year of the Cub, 2008.
Wow.
Who do you got winning the World Series?
I got the Cleveland Indians versus the Los Angeles Dodgers.
And I have the same World Series as Groves has, but I actually have a different outcome. I would take the Dodgers probably in about 6 games. Yeah.
Well, there it is. You go ahead. You got 3 different opinions there. Go ahead and take that to the bank. I would stick with my pick. It's probably going to be a longer shot, bigger
probably
payout.
Want to go against it.
Not that we condone betting on this show. When we come back, I'm going to be doing my final burns, hard takes about things in today's sports right now. You don't want to miss it.
It's August, and back to another school year. And the same question comes up from every teacher at the beginning of the year. So, what did you do this summer? Far too often, it's difficult for kids to find a good answer to this question. We see kids sitting around the house all summer, playing on their computer, playing with video games, the same thing year in and year out. And this is falling into a sedentary lifestyle for kids. What's the answer? Camp Fusion. Camp Fusion was a program designed to keep kids up and involved and active. We will be doing numerous activities outdoors, as well as specialty outings and team building games to get kids active and understand the importance of healthy living. For more information about Camp Fusion, contact Michael Sneed, Fitness Manager at the Wilmette Park District. Camp Fusion, molding minds, one child at a time.
Welcome back to the final segment of The Breeze, a personal favorite of mine. It's my final burns. And it's going to start here with the Chicago team, the Chicago Bulls. What a debacle this season has become. We had a chance at the beginning of the year to get the best player in the league, Kobe Bryant. But in his ever wisdom, John Paxson felt we had too strong of a nucleus. We would have had to give up everything to get Kobe. We would have to pretty much be starting over with an all-star player. Well, right now, you're one of the worst teams in the NBA, and you don't have Kobe Bryant. So now it's going to be a fire sale at the end of the year. So what do you have? The Bulls have not had, in a star-driven league, the Bulls have not had an all-star since the Michael Jordan era ended in 1998. In fact, you had two potential and now future all-stars in Ron Artest and Elton Brand. And you traded them both away for Eddie Curry and Tyson Chandler. And how did that really work out? Well, if you ask Byron Scott, coach of the New Orleans Hornets, he loves Tyson Chandler. Smart move for them. Fortunately, we only have to deal with the Bulls season for another few days. As I move to the NCAA tournament, I have a very short fuse with those coaches who feel that they got snubbed from getting into the tournament. One of those coaches last year, Jim Boeheim, and this year, Seth Greenberg, felt like his Virginia Tech team should have gotten in after losing to UNC in the ACC semifinals. Well, Greeny, I have a hard time believing that a team that did not finish in the top 50 in the RPI, a team that finished fourth in their own conference, and a team that had 4 losses to teams that finished under 500 deserves that they should get in to the NCAA tournament. Here's how you get into the tournament. Win your conference. Control your own fate. The quick answer, get better. If you didn't, you got a ticket to the consolation bracket, I mean the NIT tournament, and you got a #1 seed in that case. Be happy that you got that. Get participation ribbons to all your kids and pass out the orange slices after the game. If you think of it this way, you could have gotten taken down to that debacle which is known as the new college basketball invitational. Teams with 12 and 13 wins got in there. So be happy you're not down there. Thanks again for you tuning in to The Breeze today. I would like to thank my co-hosts, Matthew Putnick and Jeff Groves, and also thanks to the crew, Willie Sneed, Karen Mearsman, Katie O'Neill, and Tony Crane. For Michael Sneed, your host, this is The Breeze, a sports talk show with the Windy City twist. Check back in the fall for our NFL preview. Sure to catch all of your best fantasy football highlights.